Hi, Christine. How are you?
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and my readers. We are so excited to be chatting with you.
Oh, I'm excited too. Thank you.
I want to start off with this exciting news about you and Cosmopolitan and Harlequin launching the Cosmo Red Hot Reads. Could you tell us more about it?
Sure. Harlequin went into a collaboration with Cosmopolitan, and they were getting ready to launch this new series where we're following fun, fearless females, right? We're the modern contemporary gal who's, taking the world by storm, and they thought of me, which I'm very flattered and appreciate very much. And they called me up and said, would you be interested in launching this series for us, because you have been writing the fun, fearless heroine for years. And I said, absolutely. How fun is that? And
your heroines are so awesome. I love them.
Oh, thank you.
And your heroines and your heroes, I notice that I'm constantly recalling them and going, oh yeah, I remember reading that in one of Sylvia's books. I remember that character so well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I want to get to your ebook release that just came out today, Afterburn. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that with us?
Well, we're following Gianna Rossi, and she is a young New Yorker who works in the restaurant industry. Particularly, she finds new talent and she helps to develop it. So, she likes to, find really talented chefs and then give them the opportunity to start their own restaurants and to build their own brand names. And this is something that's very personal for her because her family has been in the restaurant industry for 3 generations. They own Rossi's restaurant in Little Italy in New York, and she has 3 older brothers who are in the process of branching out and starting their own Rossi's. So, this is something that's in her blood. And she starts working for Lee Young, who's a very popular and well-known restaurateur in the city. And in the course of trying to close one of the biggest deals of her career thus far, she runs into an ex of hers, Jackson Rutledge, who she had an affair with him a couple years before that ended really abruptly, as in he just didn't show up one day. And he didn't show up any day thereafter. So she's always wondered kind of what happened there. So he shows up, kind of messing around in her business and also, kind of wanting to pick things up where they left off. And she's got a lot of questions about what happened before. And so we're following these two, but most especially Gia, as she navigates not only the business world, but also her personal relationships.
Speaking of Jax and Gianna, could you share with us what your inspiration was for these 2 characters?
Well, they came to me the way they are. So I really can't say that anything kind of really germinated that, aside from the fact that I'm a huge Food Network fan. So
aren't we all?
Yeah, one would hope, right? I mean, yeah, the personalities that we see with chefs and their stories. I mean, if you go back and look at how a lot of these chefs that are now household names, how they got started and how they were discovered, are very fascinating stories. I mean, for a lot of these guys, they were working in somebody else's restaurant, and they were discovered by a restaurateur who enjoyed their food and felt that they were very talented and wanted to take them to the next level by giving them their own place and building them up as their own brands. And I thought that was just fascinating, and I knew that I wanted to write a story set in that world. And then Jax and Gianna popped up and said, "That's us. That's our story." And so we went from there.
Well, I'm a complete foodie, and so reading this, reading Afterburn, has been so much fun. But I want to talk about also. I hear that your next release in the series is Aftershock. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, that is still following Jax and Gianna. It's because the Red Hot Reads have a particular word count. So they're about novella length, and for me, Jax and Gianna's story was not going to fit in a novella length work. I mean, they've got, as you can see, just from Afterburn, that there was just no way that their story was going to fit. So I actually wrote one story, and then we divided it into 2 parts so that readers could get the full impact of their relationship. So we start with them with Afterburn, and then we continue with them in Aftershock. And so what we're looking for in the next book is, Gianna comes to a bit of a revelation about Jax at the end of Afterburn. She figures them out. And she figures out something about him that he wasn't expecting her to figure out. So as we move into Aftershock, she's got his number, and she knows what she wants. That she knows that she needs to know more, and she wants to know more. So I actually feel kind of sorry for the guy because she's on to him now. There's no place he can run.
You're really great at I don't know how to put it, but you're really great at giving us strong heroines and knowing their strength and everything. But you also have it where they can call their hero out at a minute. It's like I can see straight through you, even though your hero has yet to realize it.
Right.
And I absolutely love that. It's like that's what keeps me coming back for to your books. I'm just like,
oh, well, thank you.
I really love watching that because you have a heroine and you're watching her and you know she can read her hero like anything, even though he's not at that point yet, and you're like, what? And you're asking yourself, why can't you see what she's seeing? And I love that. That's like my favorite part of reading your books.
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, for me, I have to want to be friends with my heroines. I mean, they're people that I spend a lot of time with them writing their story, and I couldn't do that if I didn't admire them as women. So
I know.
Yeah.
I really appreciate. How much you can tell how much heart you put into your books and everything. I have time for one more question, and before I let you go, I want to thank you so much for taking this time. I'm going to end on, what do you feel are the trends in romance and women's fiction today, and how do you see it in the near future for writers?
Well, definitely we're seeing a huge resurgence of contemporary romance, right? I mean, and it's, a lot of small town romance and also new adult, contemporary set new adult. So those two are surging very well. And, this is after we spent a few years kind of wondering, where did the contemporary romance go? People weren't reading them. People were reading, paranormals mostly and historical still somewhat.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was like, where's all the contemporary romance gone? Well, it's back. So we're definitely seeing a lot of that. And again, small town romance, small town contemporary romance, and then contemporary new adult are really what's trending very hot right now. And I would think that contemporary romance as a whole will continue to do very well. I think that new adult fiction is going to have to evolve,
right?
Because we're seeing a lot of the same stories, and it doesn't have to be that way. So,
I know.
We're kind of waiting for that evolution to happen. Otherwise, it'll burn out like chick lit did, which would be unfortunate. Kind of explodes really quickly and then dies just as quickly. So hopefully we'll start seeing some really groundbreaking things in that genre, and that will continue to allow it to emerge and to grow. So fingers crossed. But no matter what, I think contemporary romance is going to be hot for the next couple of years at least.
I completely agree with you, and like you, I'm crossing my fingers for not only you, but for all the other wonderful contemporary authors out there that I adore. And thank you so much, Sylvia, for taking time out of your busy day and chatting with us. And
well, thank you for having me. It was fun. Oh, thanks.
Have a great day.
All right, you too. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.